Jesse Allen here, being joined today by Lowell Sandell from Valent. Lowell, how are you today?
Doing great, Jesse. Great to be with you.
Hey, I appreciate you joining us here, Lowell. And we got some great things to talk about when it comes to weed management here today. And obviously, planting season is well underway across the U.S. And I think just to start, we know weed management, kind of having that plan in place is always important. We're always seeing different weeds pop up, it seems, in different parts of the country every single growing season. So, just to start, what are some recommended approaches that Valent has for growers when it comes to weed management in their fields?
Yeah, in soybean production, one of the biggest things that I think a grower can do to maintain their full yield potential is starting that crop off weed free out there. And using pre-emergence herbicides, and in our case, it would be something like a fierce herbicide, is really important to basically get the crop started off weed free for 4, 6, 8 weeks. And if growers do that, they've done about as good a job as they can in terms of maintaining or preserving the full yield potential of that soybean crop.
Well, and I know as well, we hear a lot about two modes of action, and I know that's something we were chatting a little bit. That's something that Valent recommends as well. Can you dive into that a little bit?
Yeah, that goes back to preventing or managing delaying resistance development. And a product like Fierce herbicide has two effective modes of action. It contains the active ingredients, flumioxazin and pyroxasulfone, both of which are highly effective residual products on water hemp, Palmer amaranth. Those are a couple of the most troublesome weeds that growers plan their weed management approach around. And a product like Fierce is, one of the best options that a grower has to keep that soybean field, started off weed free, and also incorporate two effective residual modes of action into their overall weed management program.
Well, you mentioned water hemp, Palmer amaranth. I know those have been two problem weeds here for the last few years, and we keep seeing, those work their way farther and farther north. Let's talk about the northern plains specifically here a little bit. Very dry conditions in the northern plains here for this spring planting season. What are some things that you would recommend to growers in the northern plains here as they're getting soybeans in the ground here in dry conditions? And maybe will there be any differences with weed management in a dry scenario up there in the northern plains?
Yeah, so all pre's need soil moisture to work their best. Even if it's dry, I still think that there's value for using pre-emergence herbicides. They may not be as effective as if you got a normal amount of rainfall, but reducing the pressure for those post-emergence applications, even in dry conditions, is still good practice to incorporate a pre-emergence herbicide. For growers that have the ability to irrigate, they may want to consider applying half an inch, 3/4 of an inch of water if they have the ability to, right after the pre-emergence application, just to get the herbicide into the soil solution and basically in a place where the weeds are germinating and effective at that point.
Sure. Well, looking as well across the rest of the Western Corn Belt and the Northern Plains here as we get into this growing season, obviously we mentioned water hemp, Palmer amaranth. Are there any other weeds that you're looking at here for soybeans coming into this growing season that could present a challenge or a problem that we haven't necessarily seen be a big problem in previous years?
I'm not so sure about new challenges. I guess I see the standard list of of weeds as being, still the biggest thing to manage. When growers are going out, if they're in a more no-till, reduced tillage situation, we want to put that pre on, but if they have mare's tail or giant ragweed, some of those weeds that come up real early in the season or even came up last fall, pairing your residual with an effective burn down component is really, really important. The new auxin traits have allowed us to do that and get really good control of things like mare's tail and giant ragweed early in the season. If growers aren't utilizing or choose to use some other traits, being real proactive about having an effective burn down component with their residual is really important.
Well, Lowell, all great insight, and I know again with Valent, you guys have a lot of great products. If growers are looking for more information on the products that Valent offers, or just more information in general from Valent, what's the easiest way to do that?
Yeah, in this day and age, it's the easiest to go online to valent.com, and folks can find the local sales rep at valent.com and get in contact with them that way.
Well, again, the website he mentioned at valent.com, you can find out more information there. Lowell Sandell with Valent, appreciate the time today. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, great to be with you. Thank you.